Where they fight now is where many Kenyans wonder, because you have a distinct, defined rule. When you stand and say they don't have anything to do, then what do you have to do? You only have money. You are waiting for taxpayers' money to go and do CDF. Why can't you look for your money and go tell Kenyans, you voted for me? Here, I have come now as a Kenyan to help you build a church. Why should you give taxpayers' money, checks, and tell people, oh, I'm building for your classroom? How? I am building the classroom through you, using my money. Using my money, not his salary. And in fact, I am paying again his salary as a Kenyan to ensure he runs around. Let us be honest.
Two issues. Number one, that is the very reason why CDF was introduced, because members of parliament used to use their own resources to fund development. Now the question was, where do you get such money? So there was a tendency during Moi era for politicians to go and steal so that they can have as much money as possible to go and dish out. Number two, it tended to put away youth. It tended to put away women. It tended to put away poor people from joining politics. Why? You don't have such kind of money to fund development. You don't have. So therefore, it tended to ensure that politics is only for the people who have deep pockets. So therefore, you introduce something so that you can elect a manager, a person with good managerial skills, to become a leader. And so long as the demands for development is still there, Wananchi, up to now, they still look at a politician from the point of view, what is he going to do for us? That's number one. Number two, let me comment about the wage bill. You have seen recently, there is a policy that government may start cutting out, they may start retrenching workers. To me, that's, in my own opinion, it may be unfair to the extent that wage bill, instead of targeting politicians, it is now being targeted to the common Mwananchi, to the poor nurse, to the poor doctor, to the civil servant who has been in the ministry for so many years working. When it comes to trimming wage bill, that is the Mwananchi who is going to carry that cross. It is not the politician who has blotted the wage bill. And it is the reality that indeed politicians, we are the one who disproportionately have blotted the wage bill. We have now 2 houses. Those 2 houses, they are so big, there are so many members, they require huge salaries, they require so much allowances, and leave alone that, also go to, in all spheres you can see that we have blotted politicians. There are so many institutions. But now, when it comes to the issue of reducing wage cut, it is not the politicians who are being targeted, it is the common civil servant who has been working every day.
So how much would you save if you abolish the Senate? How much would you save if you abolish the Senate?
So much. So much. Billions every day.
No.
Billions.
I've said here.
If you were to do an actuarial scientific study, when you look at the present, what is they are earning, and also going forward, you'll see it's a lot of money. Leave alone that also.
Let me tell you.
To me, by the way, let me comment on that. The target should not only be in Senate, in my own opinion, even in the National Assembly. If at all, so therefore I'm not talking that that we just check Senate. No.
So even the National Assembly.
Yes, to me, I want to be fair for everyone. Everywhere you see that there is blotted workforce, whether Senate, whether National Assembly, whether counties, we must reduce the wage bill of politicians. That's my opinion.
You know, first I want to thank today Kang'ata. He has brought it very clear that CDF was there to bring development. But indeed, the 11th Parliament have appreciated that it was money that was meant for development, not for them to go and around and tell Kenyans, we have CDF, these ones don't have anything, because it's money for development. You're just given to oversee. In fact, he will put in a committee and everything. So he just oversees. And so it's good to be open to Kenyans. We just oversee, but this is your money for your own development and own good. But I have to ensure the pilot projects that we agree run in an efficient manner, and they are quality, and the institutions are there to live longer for others to use. That is one. But now, I don't think the Jubilee government is willing anywhere to retrench any staff or any Kenyan at the moment. No. What the government has done and agreed, let us freeze recruitment. And this should go even down to the county governments. And they should stop also putting everything in papers in terms of recruiting and everything. The other thing we need to ask ourselves, and that is what they need to be asking also themselves, is when you look at the job groups, Mutegi, when you look at the different acts we have in devolution, you find that there's somewhere we went wrong. We have to employ, even in the counties, they have to have a ward administrator who is, I don't know, job group J. One thing very fast we need to do as legislators is to come up and harmonize all the job groups in this country. Or else we'll find some people in the national government wondering why this one in the county government has a higher job group than I have. And that's where now, again, we're going to have many challenges. Two, we must ask ourselves, when we talk about wage bill, if indeed you remove the Senate with the 1 billion, then you come. We have to appreciate as members of parliament, we should stop trotting the whole world. We should stop this thing of going out every time. Every time you find they're just traveling, the per diems, the travel. I mean, it's too expensive for the taxpayer. And people love it, and that's why we are fighting for IPU, Pan-African. We're not fighting to go and sit in the parliament and do anything. Some are fighting because there's a good per diem there, so you go, you are paid, you stay there 2 weeks, you have money in your pocket. It should stop. The culture must stop. So it's not just the wage bill. It is how we conduct our business, all of us in the public service. And I'm not saying just parliament. Even the commissioners trot, even the big civil servants go out, and they are spending a lot of public funds, which should go to development.
In fact, sometimes last year, some governments abroad were wondering.
Yes.
You have a delegation here who goes to Egypt. These are peace. They were there. They are asking the same questions. From the same country.
To comment on that,
we,
the National Assembly, recently passed a motion. It was sponsored by Honorable Jamle Kamau, member of Keguma from Oranga County. That motion says that any government official, apart from the CJ, the president, the deputy president, and the speakers of the both houses, apart from those 4 or 5, the rest should use business class when traveling. You'd imagine we use sorry, not business class. The rest should use the normal class. You'd imagine everyone, whether member of parliament, whether senator, everyone now uses business class, which is a very expensive class. So therefore, to me, that was the way forward.
Were you able to reduce the per diems?
No, you see, the point is, you can see to us we have started something. But of course, I would foresee going forward, we shall bring other motions. And I would also call upon the senators to take also action in that regard. Particularly, you see, they have the right to oversee the county governments.
No, that's
in fact, and by the way, I think one of the problems people are having with Senate, as per the Constitution, they have the legal mandate to look at finances of county government. They have not taken any action. I call upon my dear lady to take action. For instance, we have seen government spending money left, right, and center. We have not seen any action.
And I want to put it to Kenya.
okay.
In terms of monitoring the county governments, I want to salute the Senate. Today, why you don't see money roaming around, it's because of the laws we put in place. The county governments have been unable to spend the 50 billion now. That's why you see even it's dry. So the other day we sat down and we told them, look here, you must release now money that you have stashed at Central Bank so that also Kenyans can see money moving around. So it's not how. The policies are there, the regulations are there. And that's why the governors are unable now to do what they're supposed to do. But indeed, we again as legislatures, both houses, we will look at it because we might bring also the country economically dry if we are not careful and what the governors are doing. I know they are going through a lot because of the Procurement Act. It has a lot to follow before you even tender. But now we need to open, and I believe by December you'll see now again money flowing, because at least we've agreed this is how you move on, put in tenders, let now the businessmen also start feeling and start working with the county governments. Because what the governors had done, they realized the law is so tight, and they decided now to work government to government institutions, which is good, yes, but it's not helping again the economy. So that one we have put, and we have seen there are challenges. There are opportunities, you save the money, but there are challenges, the money is not now roaming the way it's supposed to do. And therefore, we will find the economy also grinding if we're not careful in that. But having said that also, we need to ask ourselves beyond that, how do you ensure now the county government starts development without finding themselves also hurt, and even Kenyans wondering, where is this development? Because if you ask anybody for 6 months down the line, what have you done? All of us will have very little to share. And I know even that is why CDF at the moment, they don't have money, if I'm not wrong, or you have the money.
Not
Maybe,
yet,
yeah.
not yet.
So
Right.
those are some of the things.
Okay, just looking at some of the questions coming in from the viewers, we have Osman from Marsabit who says it is cheaper, morally right and good economic sense to remove the National Assembly and retain the Senate. The National Assembly is a Tower of Babel, ready to auction itself to the desires and fetishes of the executive. Retain the Senate, get rid of the MPs.
By the way, I have no problem with that proposal, so long as you merge the functions of the Senate and the functions of the National Assembly. I have no problem with that. The whole idea is, do we require 2 houses? To me, that is the issue. So long, if you are to merge, if you are to do away with MPs, you just retain senators, and senators probably make them have the powers of the MPs. Fine. To me, the issue is 2 houses. They don't make economic sense in a poor country.
In fact, they're not 2, they're 3, because they are county assemblies.
Yes,
Yeah.
We also, you know, in 64 we abolished the Senate and the county, the regional assemblies.
No,
Used
no,
to be
no.
regional assemblies.
No,
Should we also abolish county assemblies? Or
no.
Why?
The reason is the whole architecture of devolution would collapse, because the whole idea of the county assemblies is to provide a legislative framework for the running of the county government. So if you were to abolish the county government, the county assemblies, then the governors will just be there without anyone to check them. They will be a law unto themselves. No one would make laws within the grassroots level. So therefore, you have to retain the county government, so that the county assembly, so that they can proceed to make laws and also to check on the government.
All right.
You know, that is very clear in terms of how we look at things. But in reality, Mutegi, if we go the way Kang'ata thinks, let me tell you, all the small communities that voted for devolution, even those who are in his National Assembly, that is the day he will know what devolution means in this country. Because we look at it, we talk on it, on how we've documented it. But we are not bringing out what were the desires. Why did we have to end up there? It was because of the challenges we faced with different communities crying about marginalization. Today, we can talk, but when it comes to the real reality, you can see how Kenya can divide itself, and the whole world will remain amazed. Because some will think how we did our politics. When we went around campaigning for this draft and telling Kenyans vote, in some communities they were told, now you can take care of your own issues. Now you have your own government. And that is why they were so energetic in voting that constitution. Today, Kang'ata, you come from Central Province, where every day people come on screen and say, you took everything, you did this, you did this. The only way Kibaki would have proved to Kenyans, and that's why he stood with that draft, that indeed it is not the Kikuyu who made you marginalized. It is the laws that we have, and now we are improving on the laws so that you improve on your lives. That's how he gave that gift to Kenyans.
No, but
so when we sit here and you say the Senate, and we will say it so well, we will walk to the field. The day of the vote, you will imagine what Kenyans can give you. And I'm telling you, you'll be very shocked. We will remain 41 versus the rest.
So perhaps the question is, do you have the support of the people on the ground?
yes, you see, the problem is, and I would like to probably to reply to that. There is no one who is saying that devolution should go away. No one. In fact, in my own opinion, the idea has always been to strengthen devolution. Why? Because if we were to do away with the Senate, for instance, those powers probably would give them to the governors. Governors are the key body that, in my own opinion, drives devolution. So therefore, for instance, if you're in Turkana, your governor now will have more say. Your governor will have more power. So therefore, there's no one per se who is anti-devolution, who is proposing this idea. That's number one. Number two, in my own opinion, Kenyans would want a lean government. Kenyans, they want more money in their pockets. Kenyans want development at the grassroots level. So therefore, if somebody was to come up with an idea to reduce the wage bill, particularly of politicians, where you have so many politicians doing nothing, politicians who cannot bring development, Kenyans will be more happy. I'm sure an average Kenyan in Turkana, in Marsabit, everywhere, wants to see a road, wants to see water, wants to see real development.